My name is Toru MITSUI, Representative Director and Executive Managing Officer of MITSUI & Company. And I'm very grateful for the invitation to present this video message for the 11th Annual LNG Producer Consumer Conference. While the COVID-19 pandemic remains unsettled, I would like to congratulate the organizers of this conference for successfully holding this conference again this year and thank all those involved for their efforts. We hope that this opportunity for producers, consumers, and the public and private sectors to gather will provide a fruitful discussion for the future development and stabilization of the LNG market. In the 11 years since this conference began, the environment surrounding the LNG industry has changed dramatically. Stable energy supply has become an increasingly critical issue in the face of geopolitical risk, addressing climate change, volatility in the commodity markets, and other factors. LNG is an important primary energy source for energy importing countries, including Japan, and its reliability as a fuel is dependent on supply stability. However, LNG is a commodity that is difficult to store compared with other fuels such as oil or coal. Therefore, it is extremely important that the entire supply chain, including transportation logistics, are managed to function properly. In addition, we believe it is also important to increase the market liquidity of the commodity, establish a high transparent pricing mechanism, and expand the spot market where supply-demand adjustments can easily function. We believe that along with the regional diversification of supply sources, it is important as a practical measure to strengthen stable supply by building global transportation logistics and enhancing our trading ability to respond to unforeseen supply disruptive events. The LNG market has expanded and stabilized based on long-term mutual trust between sellers and buyers. We believe that we should continue to ensure the reliability of LNG supported by stability of supply. The energy industry is entering a new phase in which it must respond to climate change and accelerate energy transitions while meeting growing energy demand from a global perspective. Energy transitions are not achieved overnight. Energy issues must be considered from the perspectives of the 3 E's of energy security, economic efficiency, and environment, alongside the fundamental premise of safety. As I mentioned earlier, energy transition cannot be achieved overnight, and decarbonization cannot be achieved in a single step. It is up to all of us to achieve responsible energy transitions. Energy transition is a long journey, and natural gas and LNG have an important role to play. LNG is a fuel with relatively low combustion emissions of air pollutants and greenhouse gases, and therefore is well suited to play a complementary role as a base load power source, as well as a peaking power source to adjust frequency. Particularly in Asia, electricity demand is expected to expand in line with further economic growth, and existing coal-fired power plants will be converted to natural gas as a lower carbon fuel source. In addition, there are high expectations for the use of natural gas as a feedstock for the production of ammonia and hydrogen, which are considered to be next-generation fuels. The development of LNG projects, which require large capital expenditures, has been supported not only by private sector-based investments and loans, but also by a framework of policy support, including Japanese institutional finance, and will continue to require support in the future. Finance support is needed not only for LNG, but also for transition fuels in general. The spread of next-generation energy sources, such as ammonia and hydrogen, and the development of carbon capture and storage, or CCS, as a means of reducing greenhouse gas emissions require capital investment throughout the supply chain, and financial support is again essential as it is with LNG. We also believe that new investments in transition fuels should be recognized and evaluated by society for their contribution to greenhouse gas reduction throughout the value chain. Our view is that in the process of reducing greenhouse gas emissions, if we can visualize the reduction efforts of not only the direct emissions of each business, but that of the whole value chain, and establish an objective assessment criteria for the reductions, it will lead to more proactive efforts to address climate change. MITSUI Company has positioned the LNG business as the core of its energy transition strategy. Since participating in the Abu Dhabi project in the 1970s, we participated in the startup of the Northwest Shelf in Western Australia, Kattegas 1, Oman LNG, Tangguh LNG, and Sakhalin 2. Our most recent projects are Cameron LNG in the United States and the development of Mozambique LNG and Arctic LNG 2. With the cooperation of our project partners, we are taking different approaches to achieve competitiveness depending on the scope of each project. By doing this, we intend to further strengthen the competitiveness of our global LNG asset portfolio. We also trade LNG under our own name and have a global trade portfolio that utilizes 8 long-term chartered LNG carriers. As the LNG market is expected to grow further, we will also work on peripheral businesses in the LNG value chain that will create fuel conversion demand and new demand. We hope to meet the demand for LNG, especially in emerging countries, by leveraging our global presence and our knowledge in a wide range of business fields as a leading global conglomerate. We are, of course, reducing emissions through CCS and other measures in each of the projects in which we participate, but we are also promoting initiatives for next-generation fuels, such as biofuels, ammonia, and hydrogen, as well as carbon credits and CCS service projects. For more than 40 years, we have contributed to the structuring, startup, and safe and stable operation of LNG projects with the support of local governments, project partners, finance from Japanese and other government institutions and commercial banks, and Japanese power and gas companies that have supported us by purchasing LNG on a long-term basis. We are committed to a responsible energy transition based on the pillars of both stable supply and carbon reduction, leveraging our knowledge and customer network cultivated through the LNG and E&P businesses. In closing, I would like to express my appreciation once again for the efforts of all those involved in making this event successful. We hope this year's conference will make another meaningful contribution to the sound development of the LNG industry and market. Thank you for watching.